Hey you guys, it's time for another story. I thought I'd come and share a classic, Red Riding Hood. This is a story that has been passed down from generation to generation of all different types of people all over the world, and it is fiction. It's a type of fiction called a fairy tale because it's been passed on, and lots of different people have written or drawn pictures to show you the story Red Riding Hood. Alright, so this version is retold and illustrated by James Marshall. What does the illustrator do? Draws the pictures, that's right. So James Marshall retells this story because it's been told so many times in this version of Red Riding Hood, and he drew these pictures. Alright, here we go, get comfy. Red Riding Hood. A long time ago, in a simple cottage beside the deep dark woods, there lived a pretty child called Red Riding Hood. She was kind and considerate, and everybody loved her. One afternoon, Red Riding Hood's mother called to her. "Granny isn't feeling up to snuff today," she said, "so I've baked her favorite custard as a little surprise. Be a good girl and take it to her, will you?" Red Riding Hood was delighted. She loved going to Granny's, even though it meant crossing the deep, dark woods. When the custard had cooled, Red Riding Hood's mother wrapped it up and put it in a basket. "Now, whatever you do," she said, "go straight to Granny's. Do not tarry. Do not speak to any strangers." "Yes, Mama," said Red Riding Hood. Before long, she was in the deepest part of the woods. "Ooh," she said, "this is scary." Suddenly, a large wolf appeared. "Good morning, my dear," he said. "Care to stop for a little chat?" "Oh, gracious me," said Red Riding Hood. "Mama said not to speak to any strangers." But the wolf had such charming manners. "And where are you going, sweet thing?" he said. "I'm on my way to visit Granny, who lives in the pretty yellow house on the other side of the woods," said Red Riding Hood. "She's feeling poorly, and I'm taking her a surprise." "You don't say," said the wolf. Just then he had a delightful idea. "No reason why I can't eat them both," he thought. "Allow me to escort you," he said. "You never know what might be lurking about." "You're too kind," said Red Riding Hood. So what is the wolf doing here? He's tricking her, that's right. He's acting kind, but do we think that he's going to be kind and helpful? No, because it said he thought about eating both of them. So we can get clues into what characters are doing based on what they're thinking. Beyond the forest, they came to a patch of sunflowers. "Oh, why not pick a few?" suggested the wolf. "Granny loves flowers, you know." But while Red Riding Hood was picking a pretty bouquet, the clever wolf hurried on ahead to Granny's house. "Who is it?" called out Granny. "It is I, your delicious, darling granddaughter," said the wolf in a high voice. "The door's unlocked," said Granny. "Surprise!" cried the wolf. Granny was furious at having her reading interrupted. "Get out of here, you horrid thing!" she cried. But the wolf gobbled her right up. He didn't even bother to chew. "Tasty," he said, patting his belly. "So tasty." Just then he heard footsteps on the garden path. "Here comes dessert." And losing no time, he put on Granny's cap and glasses, jumped into bed, and pulled up the covers. Now what is he up to? He's trying to pretend he's Granny because he just ate Granny. And now who's he trying to eat? Little Red Riding Hood, that's right. "Who is it?" he called out in his sweetest Granny voice. "It is I, your little granddaughter," said Red Riding Hood. "The door is unlocked," said the wolf. Red Riding Hood was distressed at seeing her grandmother so changed. Distressed means like concerned. "Why, Granny," she said, "what big eyes you have." "The better to see you, my dear," said the wolf. "And Granny, what long arms you have." "The better to hug you, my dear," said the wolf. "And Granny, what big teeth you have." "The better to eat you, my dear," cried the wolf. Oh my goodness. And he gobbled her right up. "I'm so wicked," he said, "so wicked." But really he was enormously pleased with himself, and having enjoyed such a heavy meal, he was soon snoring away. A hunter passing by was alarmed by the frightful racket. "That doesn't sound like Granny," he said. And so the brave hunter jumped in the window, killed the sleeping wolf, and cut him open. Out jumped Granny and Red Riding Hood. "We're ever so grateful," said Red Riding Hood. "That wicked wolf won't trouble you again," said the hunter. "It was so dark in there I couldn't read a word," said Granny. Red Riding Hood promised never, ever to speak to another stranger, charming manners or not. And she never did. So what was the problem in this story? What was our character's problem? Something difficult that she had to deal with? Well, our main character was Red Riding Hood, and she came in to find the wolf in her grandmother's place. And how did the problem get solved? The hunter had to kill the wolf to get the Granny and Red Riding Hood out of its stomach. And so luckily they were still alive, and she learned the lesson to not speak to strangers, especially in the woods. I hope you enjoyed that story, you guys. This is one of a lot of people's favorites because it's been told from parents to their kids for years and years and years. Something I want you to think about when you're reading a story or listening to a story is the characters and their problem and the solution, of course, but also how did the events happen in what order. So remember, when we read a story and we're retelling it or we're thinking about what happened in the story, we want to think about the sequence. So the sequence is the events in order of how they happened. So what happened first in this story? First, Red Riding Hood got the custard and was going to walk through the woods to grandmother's house. What happened in the middle? In the middle, the wolf is taking her. She meets the wolf, and the wolf's taking her and tricking her. And then what happened at the end? The wolf had gobbled them up, and the hunter had to help them and save them and kill the wolf. So that's something you can do anytime you read a book or hear a book, is think through what happened at the beginning, what happened at the middle, and what happened at the end. All right, I hope you guys have a good night or a good rest of your day if you're watching in the morning time. And I'll see you next time.